Ethan sat at his desk, trying to read the same line on his computer screen for the fifth time. The small room at NASA headquarters was quiet except for the steady hum of machines and the faint tapping of rain on the window. He should have felt proud. After all, he had been chosen for one of the most important jobs in the world. He would be the main guide for the first alien diplomat ever to visit Earth. Still, all he felt was nervous and curious because nobody knew what to expect. From the Zarians, the news had shocked everyone. A strange ship appeared in Earth's orbit. For days, the world waited while the governments talked with the ship by radio. At last, the Zarians sent a message. They wanted to meet and discuss peace. They said they had watched humans for a long time. They wanted to learn more. The Zarians chose to send a single person, their best diplomat, to land on Earth. The leaders of Earth wanted the meeting to be perfect, and Ethan was told to help the Zarian guest understand everything about humans and their planet. Ethan's heart pounded as he walked down the bright white hall toward the landing site. His boss, Mr. Lewis, walked beside him, talking quickly about rules and protocols. Ethan could only nod. A small group of important people and soldiers stood waiting. Reporters watched from a safe distance. Everyone wanted to see what an alien would look like in real life. Ethan tried to take deep breaths. He checked his clothes for the 100th time, feeling silly in his suit and tie. Suddenly, a low sound filled the air, and the alien shuttle floated down on a column of blue light. The door opened, and a tall figure stepped out. For a moment, the whole world seemed to stop. The Zarian was beautiful in a strange, impossible way. She had smooth, glowing pale blue skin and long silver hair that floated behind her like a river of light. Her eyes were bright and kind. She wore a simple, elegant robe that shimmered as she moved. There was a gentle smile on her lips, and when she spoke, her voice was soft and musical. "Greetings. I am Lana. I come in peace." The words sounded almost human, but there was something different in the way she spoke. Ethan tried to answer, but his throat was dry. He remembered his job, forced himself to speak clearly, and introduced himself. Lana turned to look at him. She nodded politely, her eyes meeting his, and Ethan felt as if she could see right through him, down to his thoughts and feelings. The next few hours went by in a blur. Lana was calm and graceful. She answered every question with care. She bowed her head when people spoke to her. She shook hands awkwardly, but tried to copy the humans around her. When the official welcome ended, Ethan led Lana to her new room, set up just for her comfort. It was full of human things like soft chairs, bright lights, and pictures of Earth. Lana looked around, touching everything with gentle wonder. "Earth is so full of color," she said. "Your world is alive in ways our world is not." Ethan showed her how the shower worked, how to use the tablet computer, and where to find books and snacks. Lana listened closely, sometimes asking questions in a slow, careful way. She seemed to enjoy learning, and she smiled when Ethan explained. Simple things, like why people wore shoes indoors or why they shook hands to say hello. Ethan found himself smiling too, even as his nervousness faded. They walked outside into the gardens. The rain had stopped, leaving the air cool and fresh. Lana turned her face up toward the sky, closing her eyes. Ethan watched her, noticing how she seemed almost like a work of art, not just a person. He wondered what life was like on her planet. Did Zarian children play games in the rain? Did they laugh with friends or tell stories at night? He wanted to ask, but was not sure if it would be polite. Lana looked at him. "Your world smells sweet after rain," she said softly. "I can feel the life in the air," Ethan nodded. He tried to think of something smart to say, but all that came out was, "Yeah, it's nice." She laughed, a gentle sound. "I think I will like it here. Thank you, Ethan, for being my guide." They sat on a bench. Birds sang in the distance. For a while, they just watched the clouds moving. Ethan noticed that Lana did not seem cold, even in the cool air. She seemed curious about everything, from the color of the flowers to the sound of traffic in the distance. She asked questions. About the simplest things: why do people wave at each other? What does a hug mean? Why do humans smile so much? Ethan tried to answer. He explained that waving was a friendly greeting, a way to show you are not a threat. He told her that hugs were for comfort, for friends and family. He said that smiling was a way to show happiness or kindness, or sometimes just to be polite. Lana listened to everything, her bright eyes never leaving his face. On my world, she said, we greet each other differently. We do not smile much. We touch our hands together, or sometimes our faces, to show trust. Ethan wondered what that would feel like. The thought made him blush a little. Lana seemed to notice, but did not say anything. Instead, she picked up a small flower and studied it closely, as if it was the most important thing in the world. As the sun set, Ethan took Lana back to her room. She thanked him again, and he left her to rest. Walking back to his own apartment, Ethan felt a strange sense of hope. Maybe, just maybe, things could work out between their two worlds. He did not know what the next days would bring, but he was excited to find out. Late that night, Ethan could not sleep. He thought about Lana's smile and her kind eyes. He wondered if she felt as nervous as he did. He remembered how she had looked at him as if she understood everything he was feeling. For the first time since he heard the news of the alien ship, he was not afraid. He was curious and ready to learn all he could about this new friend from another world. Ethan woke up early, feeling both excited and a little nervous. He made coffee and looked out the window, thinking about the day ahead. He had been asked to spend more time with Lana, the Zarian diplomat, to help her understand life on Earth. He wondered if she had slept well or if she missed her home. He thought about all the questions she had asked the day before, and he smiled. He liked her curiosity and gentle way of speaking. When Ethan arrived at the special guest building, he found Lana sitting in the small kitchen looking at a bowl of fruit. She picked up an apple, turned it in her hands, and studied it as if she was trying to solve a puzzle. When she saw Ethan, she smiled warmly. "Good morning, Ethan. Is this food safe for me?" she asked, holding up the apple. Ethan laughed and said, "Yes, that's an apple. You can eat it. Do you want me to show you how?" Lana nodded. Ethan took another apple and bit into it. Lana copied him. At first, her eyes widened with surprise, but then she chewed slowly and nodded with approval. "It is sweet. Your world has many nice surprises." After breakfast, Ethan took Lana on a tour of the city. They rode in a car with black windows, so people could not see her clearly. Still, as they moved through the busy streets, Lana looked out at everything with wonder. She asked questions about traffic lights, why some people walked while others drove, and what the bright signs meant. Ethan did his best to explain everything in simple words. Lana listened to every answer and sometimes laughed at the things she found strange. They stopped at a small park. Lana walked on the grass with her bare feet, saying it felt soft and cool. She watched children playing, parents talking, and dogs running around. She pointed at a group of teenagers sitting together and asked, "Are they a family?" Ethan smiled. "Not really. They are friends. People here spend a lot of time with friends." Lana nodded. "We do the same on Zarya, but we show friendship in other ways. We like to sing together or share a meal." They sat on a bench and watched the clouds. Lana asked about the seasons and what happened when it snowed. Ethan explained winter, spring, summer, and fall. Lana listened closely and then closed her eyes for a moment, enjoying the cool breeze. After a while, Ethan and Lana went to a museum. Lana loved looking at the art. She stood in front of a painting for a long time, tracing the shapes in the air with her finger. She asked about the artist and why people made art. Ethan said, "Sometimes people make art to share feelings or tell stories. Sometimes it's just because they think something is beautiful." Lana thought about that. "On Zarya, we do not have art like this. We use light and sound to show beauty. Maybe I can show you sometime." They talked about their worlds and the small things that made them different. Lana explained that on Zarya, buildings were grown from living crystal, not built from stone or metal. She said her people could sense emotions by touching another's hand or face. Ethan listened, fascinated by every detail. He wondered what it would be like to live on a planet of light and crystal. Later they went back to Lana's room. She was tired but happy. She said, "Thank you for showing me your world, Ethan. I am learning so much." Ethan felt proud and a little shy. He asked if she missed her home. Lana looked thoughtful. "I miss my family, but I am glad to be here. Your world is full of surprises. I hope to understand it better every day." In the evening there was a welcome dinner for Lana, important. People from many countries came. The room was full of voices and laughter. Lana sat at the center of the table, with Ethan nearby to help her understand the food and customs. She tried every dish and listened as people talked about peace and friendship. Sometimes she asked questions, and everyone listened closely to her answers. She was polite and honest, but she also said things that made people laugh. The leaders seemed pleased. After dinner, Ethan and Lana walked in the garden again. The moon was bright, and the air smelled like flowers. Lana told Ethan that she had never seen a moon like Earth's before. On Zarya, there were 3 small moons that changed color every night. Ethan laughed and said he would like to see that. Someday, they sat on a bench again. This time, Lana seemed quieter than before. She looked at Ethan and said, "Do you think humans and Zarians can really be friends? Or are we too different?" Ethan thought about it. "I think we are different in many ways, but we are also alike. We both want peace. We both like beauty and learning new things. I think we can be friends." Lana smiled. She reached out and touched Ethan's hand. Her skin was cool and very soft. Ethan felt a strange warmth inside, a feeling he could not explain. Lana looked into his eyes and said, "In my culture, this is how we greet someone we trust." Ethan squeezed her hand gently. "I trust you too." They sat together for a while, just holding hands. Ethan felt calm and happy. He realized that he liked Lana very much. He hoped she liked him too. Before they said goodnight, Lana looked at Ethan. "Thank you for showing me your world. I hope I can show you mine someday." Ethan smiled. "I would." Like that, he walked her to her room and watched her disappear inside. As he walked back to his own place, he could not stop thinking about Lana. He wondered if their friendship could become something more. He did not know what would happen next, but he was excited to find out. The days moved quickly as Lana and Ethan spent more time together. Every morning, Ethan would bring Lana breakfast, sometimes simple toast or fruit, sometimes a local dish for her to try. They would sit at the table and talk about their plans. For the day, Lana always had questions. She wanted to know about human history, about famous places and events, and about small things like how people celebrated birthdays or why some foods were considered special. Ethan tried to answer every question, and he enjoyed seeing the world through her eyes. On one warm afternoon, Ethan took Lana to a science center where children learned about the planets and stars. Lana stood under the huge model of the solar system, her eyes shining with curiosity. She asked Ethan about each planet, and he explained what he knew. Lana seemed most interested in Earth's moon and asked why humans felt such a strong connection to it. Ethan talked about stories, songs, and dreams humans had made about the moon for thousands of years. Lana listened closely, then told Ethan about Zarya's 3 moons and how her people believed the moons helped guide their dreams at night. Ethan was fascinated. He realized that, even though Lana's world was so different, some feelings and hopes were the same. He told her about a time he watched a lunar eclipse with his family as a child. Lana smiled and said she wished she could have seen it. They agreed to try to watch the next big event in the sky together. If she was still on Earth. After the Science Center, Ethan and Lana stopped at a small cafe for lunch. They sat outside, enjoying the sun and watching people pass by. Some people stared at Lana, curious about the visitor with glowing blue skin, but most just walked on. Lana did not seem bothered. She waved at a child who waved at her, and the child grinned shyly. Ethan noticed how gentle and kind Lana was with everyone. During their meal, Lana asked Ethan about families. She wanted to know why some people had big families and others had only a few people. Ethan explained that families were different everywhere and that sometimes friends became like family too. Lana nodded thoughtfully and said, "On my world, families can be very large. Sometimes many generations live together. We take care of each other." Ethan smiled. "That sounds nice." Lana looked serious for a moment. "Do you miss your family, Ethan?" He nodded. "Sometimes. I see them when I can. My parents live in another state, and my sister works in a different city. But we talk often." Lana seemed to understand. She told Ethan that her own family sent her messages every day. "They are proud of me, but they worry too. They want to know if humans are kind. I tell them that my guide is very kind." Ethan blushed a little, then changed the subject, asking Lana about her favorite things so far on Earth. Lana thought for a moment and then said she loved flowers, the taste of fresh bread, and the sound of rain. She also liked learning new words. In English, she tried to say a few of her favorite words, and Ethan laughed when she struggled with the sound. Lana laughed too and asked him to teach her more. After lunch, they returned to the guest building. That evening, there was a cultural exchange event at the embassy. People from different countries shared music, dances, and food. Lana watched every performance, clapping politely and sometimes joining in the dancing. When a group played a slow, gentle song on violins, Lana closed her eyes and seemed lost in thought. Ethan wondered if she was remembering home. Later, as the night grew quiet, Ethan and Lana walked in the garden again. The stars were bright and a soft wind blew through the trees. Lana was quiet at first. She walked slowly, touching the leaves of the bush as they passed. Ethan waited for her to speak. Finally, Lana stopped and turned to him. "Ethan, I have something important to tell you." He felt his heart beat faster. "What is it?" Lana looked down at her hands. "I am not only here for diplomacy. My leaders want to know if Xerians and humans can truly connect. They think peace will be stronger if we understand each other deeply. They sent me because I am a good communicator, but also because I can sense emotions." Ethan listened, unsure what she meant. Lana continued, "When I touch your hand, I feel your kindness. When you look at me, I feel your curiosity. I believe my leaders hoped I would form a close bond with someone here." Ethan was surprised. "Do you mean like friendship? Or something more?" Lana nodded. "Maybe more. I'm not sure what will happen. But I like spending time with you, Ethan. I feel safe and happy when you are near." Ethan smiled shyly. "I feel the same way." Lana moved closer. She touched his cheek, a gesture from her culture that showed deep trust. Ethan gently put his hand over hers. They stood quietly, the world around them silent except for the rustle of leaves. After a few moments, Lana spoke again. "There is another reason I must be careful. Xerian and human biology is very different. We do not know what will happen if we become too close. Our scientists do not think it is possible for us to have children together, but we have never tested it." Ethan nodded, understanding her concern. "We don't have to rush anything. I'm just glad we can be friends." Lana smiled gratefully. "Thank you, Ethan." They walked back to the building side by side, comfortable in their quiet friendship. As Ethan got ready for bed that night, he thought about Lana's words. He wondered what would happen if their friendship became something deeper. He did not know what the future held, but he was willing to take the next step. Whatever it might be, the next morning, Ethan brought Lana her favorite breakfast toast with honey and fresh strawberries. She smiled when she saw it and thanked him in English and in her own language. They spent the day together, visiting a research center and talking with scientists who wanted to learn about Xerian technology. Lana answered their questions patiently, even though some questions made her laugh. When someone asked if Xerians could fly or had secret powers, she smiled and said, "We have no magic, only science and hope." That evening, Ethan and Lana sat outside watching the sunset. Lana leaned against his shoulder, and Ethan put his arm around her. For a moment, everything felt simple and right. The world was quiet, and they did not need to say anything. In that peaceful moment, Ethan realized that he was truly happy, but deep inside, Lana was worried. She felt something strange happening inside her body. She was tired and sometimes dizzy, and her heart beat faster than normal. She wondered if she was just nervous or if it was something more. She decided not to tell Ethan yet. She wanted to wait and see if the feeling would go away, but as the night came, Lana knew she could not keep her secret for long. Lana woke up before sunrise. The sky outside her window was a deep purple, slowly turning blue. She sat on her bed and looked at her hands. They trembled a little. She felt strange again, tired, warm, and heavy inside. She wondered if she was sick, or if the difference between her world and Earth was finally becoming too much for her body. She placed a hand on her chest and breathed slowly, trying to calm herself. She knew she could not hide her feelings from Ethan much longer. He would notice. She decided to tell him the truth. No matter how strange or frightening it might be, Ethan arrived a little later, carrying a small box of pastries. He noticed Lana was quiet and looked worried. He set the box down and sat across from her. "Are you all right?" he asked, his voice soft. "You look tired." Lana looked down at her hands. She felt tears building in her eyes but tried to hold them back. "Ethan, something is happening to me. I feel different. I feel strange inside. I do not think it is just nerves or being away from home." Ethan reached across the table and touched her hand gently. "Do you want to see a doctor? Maybe someone can help." Lana shook her head. "I do not think your doctors can help me. Zarian, bodies are different from human bodies. I do not even know if I am sick. I just know I am not myself." Ethan squeezed her hand. "I'm here for you, Lana. Whatever it is, we'll figure it out together." Lana nodded. For a moment they sat quietly. The room was filled with the soft sound of birds singing outside. Then Lana spoke, her voice trembling a little. "Ethan, there is something I have not told you. When Zarians form a strong bond with someone from another world, our bodies can change. Our scientists thought it was impossible with humans. But I think I might be changing because of you." Ethan's eyes widened. "What do you mean?" Lana looked at him, her eyes bright with emotion. "I think I'm pregnant. I know it sounds impossible. But I feel it. Something is different inside me." Ethan was silent for a long moment. His mind raced. He tried to understand. "Are you sure?" Lana shook her head. "No, but I feel it. It is a strong feeling, deep inside. I do not know what to do." Ethan stood and walked to the window, looking out at the waking city. He took a deep breath and turned back to Lana. "We have to tell someone. We can't keep this a secret. But I promise I will be with you, no matter what." Lana nodded, tears running down her cheeks. Ethan came back and hugged her gently. She rested her head on his shoulder and let herself cry for a while. They stayed like that until the sun rose, filling the room with soft light. Later that day, Ethan and Lana went to see one of the government doctors who specialized in alien biology. The doctor was shocked by Lana's story but agreed to run some simple tests. Lana sat on a hospital bed, holding Ethan's hand while the doctor used special scanners to study her body. The doctor's face grew serious as he looked at the results. He said quietly, "Something is happening inside you, Lana. Your body is changing in a way we have never seen." Lana felt fear and hope at the same time. She asked the doctor, "Is it dangerous? Will it hurt me?" The doctor shook his head slowly. "I do not know. We have never seen this before." "We will help you as much as we can," Ethan thanked the doctor. He stayed close to Lana, holding her hand whenever she felt afraid. The news quickly reached the government leaders. Soon Ethan and Lana were called to a special meeting. Important people from both Earth and Zarya sat around a big table, their faces serious. Some were worried, others were angry, and a few seemed curious. Lana told her story quietly. She explained how she felt, what the doctor said, and how she believed the change was because of her bond with Ethan. Some people asked hard questions. Was the pregnancy real? Was it safe? Could it harm Lana or Ethan or even threaten the peace talks? Lana did not have all the answers. She only knew what she felt. Ethan spoke up for her, saying they never meant to cause trouble. "We just care about each other," he said. "We didn't plan this." The leaders argued for a long time. Some wanted Lana to return to Zarya right away, worried about her safety and the risk to both worlds. Others wanted her to stay, to study what was happening. In the end, they decided Lana could stay, but she must be watched closely by human and Zarian doctors. They promised to help her and protect her, but they also warned that if anything went wrong, it could hurt relations between Earth and Zarya. Lana and Ethan left the meeting feeling tired and a little scared. As they walked through the empty halls, Lana stopped and turned to Ethan. "Are you scared?" Ethan looked at her and smiled. "A little, but I trust you. We'll get through this together." Lana nodded. For the first time since she started feeling strange, she felt a little less afraid. As the days passed, the news spread. Some people were afraid and angry, saying that Lana and Ethan were reckless or even dangerous. Others were fascinated and hopeful, dreaming of a future where humans and Zarians could truly become one people. The media told stories, some true and some wild rumors about what was happening. Lana tried to ignore the noise. She focused on her health and on Ethan. She learned to trust the doctors, even when their machines and tests felt strange to her. She ate healthy food, took long walks, and tried to stay calm. Ethan stayed by her side as much as he could, bringing her flowers, books, and little gifts to cheer her up. They talked about their hopes and fears, about what their child might be like, and about what the future might hold. One day, Lana's family sent a message from Zarya. Her parents were scared for her, but they said they loved her and would support her no matter what. Lana cried when she read their words. Ethan hugged her and told her that, even though the world was changing around them, he would never leave her alone. One evening, as the sun set, Lana and Ethan walked in the garden. The flowers glowed in the soft light, and the air was full of the sweet smell of grass. Lana took Ethan's hand and squeezed it. "No matter what happens, I am glad we met," she said. "You showed me that humans can be kind and brave. I hope our child will have your heart." Ethan smiled, feeling a lump in his throat. "And I hope our child has your spirit." They sat together under a tree, watching the stars come out one by one. For a little while, the worries of the world faded away, and they were just two people hoping for a better tomorrow. The days turned into weeks, and Lana's life changed in many ways. She no longer felt like just a visitor from another world. She was now part of something bigger and more uncertain. Each day she noticed more changes in her body. Some days she felt strong, but other days she felt tired and confused. The doctors from Earth and Zarya met often to talk about her condition. They studied her with great care, using gentle voices and soft hands because they knew how important she was to both their worlds. Ethan was always nearby. He stayed by Lana's side through every test and every new discovery. He tried his best to keep her calm and happy, bringing her flowers from the garden and reading stories to her when she felt too tired to move. Some nights, when Lana could not sleep, Ethan would talk about his childhood or tell silly jokes to make her smile. He wanted to protect her, even though he knew he could not control what was happening inside her. News about Lana and Ethan spread all over the world. Some people wrote letters to Lana, wishing her luck and sending hope. Others were not so kind. Some people were afraid of what her baby might mean. They said it was dangerous, that it might change things in ways humans could not understand. Still, there were more people who dreamed of peace and new friendship. They called Lana the bridge between worlds. The leaders of both Earth and Zarya met in long, serious talks. Some were angry and wanted everything to stop. Others said this was a chance for something new. The debates became heated, and sometimes Lana and Ethan felt like they were trapped between two storms. They tried to ignore the harsh words, focusing instead on their own quiet moments together. One day, Lana received a special message from the Zarian leader. The leader's voice was calm and full of hope. "You have become more than our diplomat, Lana. You are now the first of our kind to truly become part of another world. We do not know what the future will bring, but we are proud of you. Your courage will guide us." The message made Lana cry. She shared it with Ethan, who hugged her tightly. "You're not alone," he said. "No matter what, we'll face everything together." As Lana's pregnancy grew, people from both planets watched closely. Some scientists worried about what would happen, but others were curious and full of hope. Lana allowed the doctors to run more tests, and every time they found something new, they would share the results with scientists on both worlds. The Zarian doctors used special machines that glowed softly and hummed, while the human doctors took notes and asked many questions. One afternoon, Lana was sitting in the garden with Ethan when a group of children came by. They stared at her with wide eyes. One little girl, braver than the others, came closer and asked, "Are you really having a baby from another planet?" Lana smiled kindly. "I am. He will be both Zarian and human. Maybe one day you can meet him." The girl smiled and ran back to her friends. Ethan laughed. Children are never afraid to ask the biggest questions. Lana nodded. They see the world with hope, not fear. I wish more people could be like them. The pressure on Lana and Ethan grew as her pregnancy went on. Every day, reporters wanted news, scientists wanted updates, and leaders wanted answers. Lana felt tired, but she tried to stay strong. Ethan became her shield, keeping away the people who wanted too much from her. He would take her to quiet places where they could be alone, just to talk and listen to the wind and the trees. Sometimes, at night, Lana felt scared. She wondered what her child would look like and if he would be safe. She worried that people might not accept him. Ethan always listened to her fears and told her that whatever happened, their child would have the love of two worlds. One day a meeting was called at the embassy. The leaders from Earth and Zarya wanted Lana and Ethan to speak in public about their feelings and their hopes. Lana was nervous, but Ethan stood beside her and squeezed her hand. Lana spoke first. Her voice was soft but strong. "I did not come to Earth planning for this. I was sent as a diplomat to build trust and friendship, but I found something more. I found love and hope. I know people are afraid of what is different, but sometimes what is different is what makes us strong. My child is a sign that we can understand each other. I hope he will grow up in a world where both humans and Zarians can live together in peace." The crowd listened in silence. Then Ethan spoke. "Lana and I did not plan for this, but we are not afraid. We want to give our child the best life we can. We ask everyone to give him a chance." The leaders thanked them and promised to protect Lana and her baby. People from both planets began to send messages of support. Artists made paintings and songs about Lana and Ethan's story. Schools started to teach lessons about peace and friendship with Zarya, but there were still those who were afraid. Some leaders on both planets demanded more control, saying they needed to study the child and make rules about the future. Ethan and Lana stood together and said, "Our child is not an experiment. He is a child, and he deserves to be safe and loved." Their courage inspired many people to speak out in support. As Lana's due date grew close, doctors watched her carefully. Some nights, Ethan would sit with her, holding her hand as she fell asleep. He promised her, "No matter what happens, I will always be here." Lana would smile and hold his hand tightly. One evening, as the stars filled the sky, Lana and Ethan sat outside, listening to the world grow quiet. Lana looked up and saw a shooting star. She made a wish, hoping her child would know only kindness and hope. Ethan made the same wish, and together they waited for the day that would change both their worlds forever. The day finally arrived when Lana knew it was time. She woke in the early morning, the world outside still quiet and dark, and felt a strong sense of change. Her heart beat fast, not just from fear, but from hope. Ethan was already awake, sitting by her side, his eyes gentle and full of worry. He squeezed her hand. Lana smiled at him, trying to be brave. They called the doctors, and soon the quiet room became busy with gentle voices and careful hands. Zarian doctors used their glowing tools, and human doctors checked their machines. The air was filled with a soft hum of science and the whisper of voices. Ethan stayed by Lana the whole time, never letting go of her hand. He talked to her softly, telling her stories and reminding her of the days they had spent in the garden, watching the birds and the sun. Outside, the world was waiting. News cameras stood far from the building, showing only the quiet windows, while people everywhere hoped for good news. Leaders from both worlds watched their screens, waiting for a sign that all would be well. The birth took hours. It was difficult, but Lana was strong. She listened to the doctors and trusted Ethan's calm voice. When at last the baby came, everyone in the room became silent. The doctors checked him, their hands careful and full of wonder. Lana held her breath until she heard the soft cry of her child. Tears filled her eyes. Ethan held her close. Their son was small, with pale skin that glowed a little in the soft light, and eyes that seemed to hold the sky inside them. He had a small tuft of silver hair, and when he yawned, his mouth was just like Ethan's. Lana held him close to her chest. She looked at Ethan, who could only stare, full of joy and amazement. For a moment, the room was quiet. The doctors spoke softly in both languages. Then one doctor stepped forward. "He is healthy," she said. "He is strong." Lana let out a deep breath. Ethan laughed and wiped his tears. They had done it. Their child, half human and half Zarian, had come into the world safely. News spread quickly. The leaders of Earth and Zarya sent messages of congratulations. People everywhere cheered and sent wishes for the new family. Artists painted pictures of Lana, Ethan, and their baby. Some children drew pictures of the baby with bright colors, showing two worlds joined together by a single child, but it was not only joy. Some people were still afraid. They said that the baby was too different, that he might not belong to either world. Others said he was a sign of hope, proof that peace was possible. Lana and Ethan chose not to listen to the voices of fear. Instead, they focused on their small son, caring for him and watching him grow stronger each day. They named him Liam. It was a simple name, easy to say in both languages. Liam had gentle eyes and a quiet smile. He liked to listen to the soft music of both worlds, and sometimes he would reach for Lana's silver hair or Ethan's hand, holding on tightly as if he knew he belonged to both of them. Lana was careful to teach Liam about both his worlds. She told him stories of the crystal forests of Zarya and the green parks of Earth. Ethan showed him how to build small things with his hands, how to listen for birds, and how to see the beauty in simple things. Liam learned quickly, his mind open and bright. As the months passed, Lana and Ethan became symbols of peace. They spoke at meetings and sent messages to schools. They told everyone that their child was not a danger, but a chance for hope. They said that love and understanding could join two worlds, even when people were afraid. One day, when Liam was a little older, Lana and Ethan took him to a big meeting between leaders of Earth and Zarya. The room was full of voices, some loud and some quiet. Lana stood at the front with Ethan and Liam beside her. She spoke softly, but everyone listened. "We did not plan for this," Lana said. "But life is full of surprises. Our child is both human and Zarian. He is not a threat, he is a gift. He can help us understand each other. He is a bridge between our worlds." Ethan spoke next. "We want our son to grow up safe and loved, not as a symbol of fear, but as a sign that peace is possible. We hope that all children, no matter where they come from, will be accepted." Some of the leaders smiled, others thought quietly, and a few looked doubtful, but the words had power. People talked about new ways to share ideas and learn from each other. New programs began so human and Zarian children could meet and play together, learning side by side. Back at home, Lana and Ethan watched Liam play with other children. Sometimes other parents would watch him carefully, but soon they saw that he was gentle and kind, just like any other child. He learned words from both languages, laughed at simple jokes, and loved to run and play in the sunshine. He was proof that two worlds could come together, even when it seemed impossible. Years passed, and the world slowly changed. People remembered the fear and worry, but they also remembered the hope. Lana and Ethan were invited to speak in many places. They told their story over and over, hoping it would help others see that love was stronger than fear. Liam grew up happy and healthy. He loved to ask questions about both Earth and Zarya. He dreamed of visiting the crystal forests and flying in the big ships that traveled between the stars. Lana and Ethan promised him that one day he would see both worlds, and they worked together to make that dream possible. In the end, The story of Lana, Ethan, and Liam became a legend. People on both planets remembered how a small act of kindness and a simple greeting had started something no one could have imagined. Their love had changed everything. When Liam was old enough, he stood on the stage at another big meeting. He looked at the leaders from Earth and Zarya and said, "I am not just Zarian or human. I am both. I am proof that we can learn, hope, and dream together." The room was silent, then filled with applause. Lana and Ethan sat together, holding hands, proud of their son and of all they had done, and so the worlds of Earth and Zarya moved forward, joined by love, hope, and the simple courage of two people who dared to trust each other.